Okay, guys, so this has really been on my mind like all week, but affirmations, should you be doing them robotically? Should you be doing the whole, oh my gosh, guys, 10K challenge? Well, to answer your question, hell no, you shouldn't be doing that. Because look, the thing is, guys, is whenever you have to exhaust yourself in manifestation, you are not doing manifestation, you are doing religion. Okay, so that's number one. All right, but number two, you need to understand just how powerful you are, and it doesn't really say much to yourself when only after you hit the 50K mark on your affirmations, then okay, finally we got a spark, we got a hit. Like, what does that say about yourself? Like, who looks more powerful? The one who chops down the tree with 100 chops, or the one that just goes and in 1 second is like, oh, what the fuck, that was easy. Okay, you can literally be in traffic right now thinking of your SP, thinking about how, man, like, why is it that they just don't like me? And then you can realize, okay, I'm not the mind or the body, I'm just the observer. So I just observed that thought. It said, why does my SP not like me? But I know that the 3D is just a past reflection. So I'm just gonna decide right now that I have my SP, that they're obsessed with me, that they drink my cum in their Lucky Charms. And by the way, guys, what I said all in these past 5 seconds right now, you don't actually have to say what I said word for word. But you see, this is where understanding the fundamentals really helps, is so that way you don't have to fucking use your reverse flashcards to remember all this. If you remember the fundamentals, just the same way that nobody has to explain to you how to play the guitar, when you understand the guitar, it's like, okay, I gotta go right here, I gotta go right there. Like, you're not telling your fingers what to do, they just already know what to do. Okay? When you understand manifestation, you're not telling your brain what to believe, you already know what to believe. You already know what to understand. Get the fundamentals down, understand that the 3D is the past, the present moment is only existing in your internal, aka the 4D, aka your imagination. But the imagination is not unicorns and leprechauns and Disneyland. It's just simply anything that you put in your awareness. If you fucking ask, oh shit, did I still leave the cookies in the oven? That is an imaginal act. If you fucking do, what is 4 times 4 divided by 70 million? That's a fucking imaginal act. And by the way, it's 1. So anything that you put in your internal is an imaginal act. So if you say an affirmation once, then the only reason why it would not work out is not because you need to say it more than once, but because you did something to take away the seed. Okay? But it has nothing to do with, there's a certain amount of times that you have to say affirmations. Now, yes, granted, there is this whole other side of the spectrum where there's people kind of in the middle where they're like, yeah, I know I don't have to say it all these times, but I do kind of have to keep reminding myself, right? Because I have to impress the subconscious. My ego's still backfiring me. Again, yes, but that's because you still haven't decided that you're going to detach from the ego, right? Because if you allow yourself to detach from the ego, and you decide, I'm not the character, I'm not the mind or the body, and I know that the ego is basically a part of the body because it is highly attached to my feelings, highly attached to the sensations that I don't like, or my survival mode in my body. So then therefore, I know that I'm not the ego or I'm not the mind or the body, right? So when you detach from that, then this whole idea of I have to remind myself this, I have to remind myself that, and I got to stop the ego, you realize something, that the ego can be its own separate entity. It can talk all the shit it wants, and you no longer have to identify with it. Because whenever I hear a client say to me that Neo, like I always ask them, like, so how are you doing? Right? And they'll usually say something like, well, I'm doing okay. Or they'll maybe give me an update about their SP or about their finances. But whenever they tell me about what's going on internally, mentally, they'll usually say something like, well, I don't think I'm in the state. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they'll always say it's because of all of my spiraling thoughts, of all these thoughts that I'm having. My ego can't shut up. But listen to what you just said. You didn't say, I am spiraling. You didn't say, I am the ego and I am saying these things. I mean, some of you guys do say I'm spiraling, but even when you're spiraling, why are you saying that you're spiraling? Because of your thoughts. But you see, if they are your thoughts, if you're having thoughts, then they're yours. They are your little pet. If I say my dog ate my homework, I'm not the one who fucking ate the homework. That's why that's the classic fucking excuse for when you don't want to turn your homework, guys. Kids, cover your ears. Not safe for school. NSFS. If my thought said my SP doesn't like me, I'm not the one deciding that. That's my fucking thoughts. Now, I know there's going to be some theologian Neville Goddard scholars who are going to say, well, but the thought is reflecting your state. Jesus Christ, guys. You see, I'm over here getting into car accidents just for you guys. All right. We're doing it all here. My thoughts are reflecting the states. So technically, Neil, I'm still doing something wrong. But again, a lot of coaches know the fundamentals. A lot of coaches know the truth. And you can benefit a lot from them, but the ones that you're really going to benefit from are the ones that make it easier on you. And when you detach from your human body, and no, this is not some weird shit where like you have near-death experience or you start levitating. All it is experiencing your life, your job, your work, your ups, your downs, the fun part of life, relationships, but experiencing them from a detached state, experiencing them from an inner peace that comes from the fact that no matter what, you're going to be okay, because either ways you are not limited, you are eternal. Okay, that is what it is. And when you understand that you are not limited to these human faculties, and that just because your body is dealing with all these emotions, you don't have to identify with them, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Yeah, that is true. Those thoughts that are telling you that your SP doesn't like you and your SP doesn't want you, they are coming from a state, right? But the moment that you enter God's state, congratulations, guys. You start to see that you don't have to no longer dodge thoughts like the fucking Matrix. Okay? All you have to do is, I mean, you could dodge them, right? Like I've always said, if you have a fucking affirmation that knocks the fucking thought out, 1-2 Mike Tyson, okay, good. But a lot of times there's going to come days where your ego just is winning the fucking shit out of the battle between your mind and your body, right? So when that's occurring, you can simply detach back into your awareness. And yeah, you can do an affirmation. Yeah, you can do an imaginal act. But again, the only thing about that is then you guys are like, oh, fuck, should I think of them in the yellow blouse? Should we be at the wedding ceremony? Or should we be sharing ice cream sundaes? And it's like you get into this whole thing. Because again, you are still having to use your mind to do those imaginal acts, right? And meanwhile, your mind is using all that energy to fucking talk shit about you. So a lot of times you just should do anything else but allow yourself to identify in that moment with the spiral. And like I've said before, I've never heard of somebody who spiraled more than a fucking hour. I've never heard of anybody who spiraled for a whole fucking day. Honest to God, I would be surprised if you guys spiral for more than 5 minutes. It might feel like an hour. It might feel like forever. But guys, you are way more powerful and have way more control over your mind and your body than you think. Okay? So this is the more long version of why you don't have to do robotic affirmations, guys. But if you have specific situations that you need help with, specific advice that you need consultation for, the links are in the description, guys. I would love to work with you. And by the way, just so you know, if you join the channel membership, you get discounts on everything on my stand store, any consultation that you want, that you need, and you also get access to the next 2 months of videos. Take care, guys. I love you.